Welcome back, guys, to the Prayin and Slayin Podcast, the official podcast of Light the Fire Outdoors. We're all about serving veterans and conservation support projects in our local communities. And today we have an awesome kickoff to our Light the Fire Outdoors Partner Series, where we bring on companies who've partnered with us to help them grow their business in the outdoors industry. And I couldn't be more proud to share that this is the first ever partner of Light the Fire Outdoors, DEADNUTS Outdoors. We have Cole and Corey on, and they're going to tell us the story of DEADNUTS, how it got started, how we're making waves in the industry, partnered up, and how they're going to grow into the future. And man, that's just a great group of people. I am so excited for you guys to meet these guys and learn more about their business. This is an awesome company, and they've got some really cool backyard targets to take your backyard range to life. With that, guys, let's jump in with Cole and Corey from DEADNUTS Outdoors. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't listened to the ads from DEADNUTS Outdoors yet, you might want to listen to this one because it got a really cool announcement on DEADNUTS Outdoors upping their partnership with Light the Fire Outdoors. There's some pretty cool stuff in there for you too. Now, let's jump into the episode. Awesome, man. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Prayin and Slayin Podcast. And today is probably my favorite episode of the year. It's the first ever of our Light the Fire Outdoors Partner Series, where we get to talk about our partner companies that we're partnered up with to help grow their business. And I couldn't think of a better group of people that I've gotten to know, but also an awesome just company and product line. We have DEADNUTS Outdoors here, and we actually got lucky and got Corey and Cole both lined up, same schedule, and they're both on camera this morning, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. We have about a 3-hour time difference, I think, collectively. So we made it happen. But welcome, guys, to the podcast, and I know myself and everybody else is so excited to learn about DEADNUTS Outdoors.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for putting it together for us.
Ready to rock. Thanks, Aaron, for having us.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Well, Corey, you were the first one to talk, so I'll dog you first with the question, man. Tell us who you are, how I think you started the company technically. So let's take us through, introduce yourself, what you do with DEADNUTS, what you do with your day job. This is a part-time gig, I think, for both of you in a sense, turning more and more into a full-time gig. But tell us about you and what you do and how you're rocking with DEADNUTS.
All right, thanks. My name is Corey Daniels, and we're based out of Washington State here for the time being, hopefully not very long. DEADNUTS Outdoors started right around the start of COVID, and we were sent home. And so it was basically me wanting to teach. I have 4 sons, and I wanted to teach my boys. I want to be better at teaching my kids about bone structure and giving them as many scenarios as I possibly could in our own backyard to shoot at. And so we could shoot a lot. We were all stuck at home. It was Cole's senior year. Baseball season and school was canceled, and he never went back. And so I had Cole and Carson and Casey, and all we did was shoot these targets with zero intent on becoming a business. We just wanted to, I was just trying to show some stuff for my own kids and teach them the different angles, offside legs, quartering away, and, if he comes frontal, and broadside looks. And it was before we had replaceable kill zones, before we had packaging. We just, when we go hunting, we'd throw them in the trailer as one big elk or whatever, and one piece, throw them in and go shoot them. I was like, well, this kind of stinks. They're getting destroyed. And then every time you shoot out the kill area, after a few hundred shots, well, now you got to replace the entire target. So just evolved over time into something. And we got convinced by a buddy we did one Facebook ad. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I'd never done one before. And we got more orders than we could handle right off the bat. So we shut it down and said, okay, this might be a business. And so we need to, so that we don't overpromise and underdeliver, we better chill out for a minute and figure out processes. And don't get too big too fast. Just chill out. So we chilled for like a year. We didn't do anything with it. Didn't promote it. And at the same time, we're coming out with more animals and more angles and more scenarios to teach. And so it just evolved from there. And all my boys are very interested in it. It's all we shoot is animals. We don't shoot dots. We shoot animals. We're not professional archers, and there's a place for that. But for us, we're always shooting animals only. So we can continue to evolve so that every time that you're in the field, you've already seen that shot. It shouldn't surprise you. You know exactly what to do. You've already made it 100, 200, 300 times in your backyard. So that's kind of the preface of the business. It was educational for my own kids, and it's evolved into educational for others. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that you're centered on education too. And that's like where it all got rooted. And, I knew that about your guys' targets when I first got into them and talked with you the first time and kind of learned about what you guys were doing, and then the one that I've got one quartering away mule deer target that I've been shooting out in my backyard. And that one is turned into about my favorite. The other ones are all broadside. And on the education front, I guess for me, it's slowly, but I finally realized, like in the field in Montana, especially where we were stationed last, like getting a chance to be out at 200, 300, 400 yards away from an animal. When I grew up Midwest, you're talking 20, 30, 40 yards most of the time, sometimes 100 during gun season. But the way you guys even have that mule deer set up, like that's an ultra realistic representation of a quartering away, head cocked back to look and see where the danger is coming from mule deer. But to anybody else, if you haven't seen that a bunch already, like you might think that mule deer is even broadside, and it's a life-size target too, right? So you're, like you said, you're seeing that real look, but that shot placement is quite a bit different than what you might think. Because if you think it's broadside, I mean, there's a good chance you gut punch that deer, or shoulder him, depending on the situation. But it's taken me like probably a few hundred shots into that mule deer, but I'm starting to really understand it a little bit better. It's like I can see a quartering away animal a little bit better than I used to, or interpret that animal's body position better than I used to. And it's just because of that repetition of understanding in my brain saying, okay, now I'm switching from broadside to quartering away. But even in the field this fall, like looking at deer coming in and that kind of thing, and out of a tree saddle, there wasn't anything I ended up shooting this year, but understanding every single way that deer was standing, I was more analyzing, I guess, that in my head. Okay, like here's how I would shoot him if I was going to shoot him, or here's, now he's did this, now he stepped up on this hill, whatever the case is. So you do start through practice at life-like situations, you start really, your brain thinks of things a little bit different, which is cool, because I think a lot of us as hunters, especially, no matter how experienced you are, you get in the moment and all of a sudden you're just reacting to whatever your brain is telling you as fast as you can see it, instead of analyzing it ahead of time. And I think that practice now is really helping me there. So I'm a firm believer that these targets will help educate you. I mean, even just simple things like that.
You mentioned life size. I mean, that was the big thing for us, is everybody's got an opinion, especially if they have a keyboard, on what life size looks like, right? And so we try to keep it simple. If the quartering away mule deer that you speak of is actually not a very big target, because there's not a lot of space being used up when they're quartering away. It's a small shot offside, find the offside leg and direct towards it. But we measure our life size from the top of the back to the bottom of the brisket, and it's an average. So for example, on our broadside bull, I know that a mature Rocky is going to be anywhere from 28 to 33 inches from the hump to the chest. And so we make them 31. It's life size, but it's an average life size, right? A young animal versus a very mature animal, it could be 5, 6, 7 inches difference in depth. So from back to bottom of chest. So we try to focus on that really hard to make sure that we're giving people the best opportunity to see it the way it is, real life, from all distances. And so to create those scenarios and self-educating opportunities, and Cole kind of takes it to the next level, man. He puts himself in. A lot of guys will just walk out the door and they'll shoot it, and Cole goes and creates angles and shooting through holes and shooting through trees and shooting through windows. And Dad's not that cool, so he's much better at creating scenarios that I've never thought of. So
you got to realize he grew up in the total archery challenge age, so it's all about like these cool shot angles and stuff. But no, I'll do the same thing in my backyard. We've got a sloping hill that goes down, and the bighorn ram I've got, I have to shoot. It's from a total archery scenario, but like you have to aim at the ram, even though there's a log laying in front of us. Your pin's on the log, but that arrow sails up and over and goes in. And I've had one of them through a tree crease. But to probably why Cole does that and why I started doing it all the time is the more you shoot that, like I used to have a hard time with like shooting up against trees, right? Because your eye, the thing you're most afraid of hitting is where that arrow is probably going to end up going. Just your body adjusts to it. I don't know how it works psychologically, but doing it over and over and over and over, I'm not. Now I've got that arrow maybe has a double vein width between one of my shots that I do. It's 20 yards, so I'm not ultra afraid of it, going nuts. But it's that repetition, man. It makes you a better shooter over and over and over.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, dude. So real quick, like, Dead Nuts obviously was a hobby turned an education experience for your kids, turned hobby, turned business, but you're still doing your day job. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I work full-time as the general sales manager for an amazing company called Pape Kenworth. Pape is an amazing group, and I manage Washington and Alaska for the trucking side. So it's more than a full-time job. Got a number of sales guys that I work with, just great human beings. And I work for a great company. The Papes are just wonderful. So been doing that. In the big machine sales or truck sales, I'm in at 30 stinking years already, which it sure went quick. But I always say when you're having a good time, it goes quick. So so that's what I do full time. And then we do a lot of real estate investing. My wife and I do a lot of real estate investing between Arizona, Montana, and Washington. We've developed commercial real estate and RV parks and homes and multifamily housing. So that's another little side hustle of ours, and Dead Nuts on top of that. So it's pretty busy.
You guys are
Pretty
busy, man.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, I think you passed it on to your son too. So we'll jump into Cole now. I didn't realize, I think I learned something new every time I talk to you guys, that Cole's got another side hustle I didn't know about. But Cole, introduce yourself, man. So who are you, and what's your role with Dead Nuts? How's it grown since you've been here? And I guess tell us about yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm Cole Daniels. I'm the best looking son of my dad's, of the four of us. But anyways, yeah, so I guess my role with Dead Nuts has always just been, these are really cool. Brothers and I have had a great time shooting them, and it's kind of grown into something that now I'm more passionate about. I never thought that the industry I love, I'd actually be kind of working in it and growing a business that I think adds great value to this industry, and an industry that needs kind of disruption. And so I'm just really psyched to kind of be a part of something that's doing that. My day job, so I just graduated college last year. I got my real estate license in both Montana and Arizona. So I sell real estate, and I'm just starting to get into some real estate investments now. That's what I do during the day. And then at night, it's a lot of the content creation, helping out with the marketing and sales side of Dead Nuts. The last 3 years, it was, all hands on deck in the shop, manufacturing targets from 7 in the morning until midnight. We've had lots and lots of hours in the shop, just, developing new targets, picking out, kind of new print files and cut files, and hey, this is how we should streamline this operation. And so we've gotten that under control, and we have some amazing guys on our team that are handling that now. So I don't have to be in the shop every day, but can still focus more on like growth work rather than operational work. But yeah, so that's just a little tidbit about me, and I love hunting. And so opening day, I got a little clock on my computer telling me how close we are to opening day. That's what gets me turning. And
So you're following down in mom and dad's footsteps, sounds like, with the investing side, the realty side, and obviously you got a huge passion for the outdoors as well. So sounds like a pretty good opportunity. And you used a lot of big words, I think, to start in there too. So you're the business brains behind Dead Nuts, and your dad's just kind of the
100%.
guy that makes sure you're playing within the bumper guidelines. Is that really the
Exactly.
breakdown?
My list of growth is like this long, and then dad's like usually reeling it back, like, no, not yet, no. And I'm like, come on, this is a great idea now. Like, let's develop this. And so, but yeah, I mean, I think that we kind of are a good team, because I have a young perspective in the way I think we should market, and the way I think that, our sales operation should work. And then dad comes back and has a more old school perspective from doing, working 30 years in sales in a different industry. And then, we had a guy like you onto our team who has continuous expertise in creating a grassroots program that neither dad or I have. And so I think between everyone, it's just helped revolve this business. And now I'm just never been more confident that this business is going to actually take off, impact more people for the better. We're going to see higher harvest success rates, less animals go unrecovered. And that's really what, why my gears turn, is because I think we're actually offering a product that is beneficial for every outdoorsman, and offers him more success. So
let's talk more about the products. You guys are a 2D target company, which I didn't know existed until I knew about you guys, that 2D was even a thing, right? And I'd seen some banners and things like that, and I know you guys have those too. But what makes, in your guys' mind, 2D so special, disruptive to the industry? And I guess, how does that help hunters do what they do better?
Well, 2D, first of all, is much more affordable than 3D. That's a big one, right? They're also able to be packaged. I mean, the largest package you'll have in your garage is 30 by 32 by 2. So it folds up, and you don't have to build an extra garage to get your 3Ds out of the weather, for the winter. I mean, those two are the very obvious ones, but it also gives us a chance where there's obviously a great market for 3D. It's a giant market and they put out beautiful products. But for us, when you can go high res, high def, actual visibility where the further you get away, it becomes even more definitive. You can actually see the scap. You can actually see the humerus bone. We try to keep our targets where they're very high def, where we can break it down and you can actually see it to shoot for what we call the V, right? So, the product not only gives that, but again, the financial savings, the ability to store them through a winter without using up or building a second garage. And the fact that they'll mount to any backstop. It doesn't matter what your backstop is. If it's a bag, a block, a bale, it doesn't matter. We get pictures all the time. I love the Wisconsin guys throwing them on big round bales. They'll send me pics, cracks me up. And then the next guy's got, a $5,000 foam block. Then other guys have 4 or 5 shot out cubes or something that they're stacking them up to get them to the height they want. I mean, it's awesome because you can use them with anything. Reality is, if you're going to shoot a good 3D, obviously there's some 3Ds that are lower cost, but they're not as durable, and we get that a lot of, well, gosh, I can just go buy a 3D. Yeah, you can, but you're not going to you can literally buy 4 of our targets, 5 of our targets. And in some cases, if you're buying a big 3D bull, you can buy every one of our damn targets for the price of that one bull. So again, scenario-based backyard shooting. 3Ds are awesome. We're definitely not really competing with them, but we're definitely filling a hole that's been there for a long time from an affordability and the ability to store targets and shoot lifelike, high def, and make yourself better.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And I stand behind that 100%. The affordability is awesome. I had a couple blocks already out in the backyard and I was shooting at dots, but now it's allowed me to transform my range into, shooting at real animals or in life-size animals and getting a better education out of that by utilizing the blocks I had, but even I could see a use case too, where I've had a Glendale buck, I've had some, like you said, some of those lower end off guide fitter, the El Cheapo, I had a bear and a turkey. And, being stationed in Virginia, the Glendale buck was basically useless by the time we got ready to move after 3.5 years of rain and humidity and sun out there. So that stayed in the trash. Didn't come with us. In Montana, I bought those little bit cheaper ones with the intention of leaving them on the outdoor range in Montana. I had them in my backyard on base there. And, by the time I got done using them, there was no reason for me to go dump them at that outdoor range because they were crumbling and falling apart in the whole nine. With Maryland here, again, rain, sun, weather, snow, you name it. I've had those targets out there for, I think, about 2 years now, roughly, since I've had them. They look exactly like they did when I pulled them out of the box. I have deer that come up and hang out with them. Like they get comfortable because I've got these, real versions of whitetail and antelope and other animals out there. So they hang out in my yard more than my neighbors, I think, just because they think that's where the deer are hanging out. So it's pretty neat to watch. But yeah, I folded all mine up the other day. I think I just put a video out on the Light to Fire Outdoors page of folding up the range and sticking it back in that same box. And my whole range is, probably in that, like you said, 32 by 30, whatever box, and what weighs 3 pounds maybe. So yeah, that's awesome.
Recently, we partnered with Quiver, and it's called our Vital X series. And if you're not familiar with it, it's an app. It's a free downloadable app. And now we have a series where, from an educational perspective, you can literally see 100% of the anatomy and remove portions of the anatomy to see exactly what organ your arrow hits. So it's that educational aspect at a completely different level. I mean, it's amazing. And so having that available as well, and we're working on getting the quarter. It's only broadside available on our broadside product currently, and our turkeys are just now coming out with that technology, and we'll start moving towards the quartering away stuff as the year progresses. And the hope would be that we would have it for all of the animals real soon, and as we add them. But they're great guys. Matt Levi with Quiver, amazing guys, and they are really smart guys, obviously, and they're adding a product. They're adding to our product, which is in turn helping our customers become better archers. And Cole said it very well a minute ago. How do we become better archers, and how do we have a better harvest, but less animals getting away because we put the time in our own backyard and we've already seen it. that shot 100 times. And when you solo hunt, I always talk to the boys about this. When you solo hunt, everybody, our most popular product is the broadside bull. Everybody wants a broadside bull. It's gigantic and it looks really cool in your backyard. The reality of the situation is, if you watch anybody on YouTube, there's very few broadside shots that actually come in. Doesn't mean you shouldn't keep buying broadside bulls. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the reason we create the other scenarios is because the reality is, especially if you're a solo hunter, if you're a guy that calls them in and you're not a spot stock guy, they rarely come in and turn broadside for you when you're solo hunting. You're going to find an angle, either wind switch and he turns and you stop him, it's a quartering away. It could be a quartering to, it might be straight frontal, like Cole's experience this year. So that's why we're doing it, is you should take the time and you should invest in, you're holding a $3,000 bow setup in your hand, most likely with today's world with arrows and sights, and spend the extra money and get the targets you need to make yourself better. That's what it boils down to.
For me, the way I was able to find success this year is, I know, I guess I'm biased, but I give credit to the targets because they offered me, like Dad had talked earlier about, different shot angles. So my range back home is I'll have a frontal elk at 20, a broadside elk at 40, and a quartering away elk at 60 pre-hunting season. And I'll shoot 40 broadside, and then I'll hurry up, range, re-knock, draw, shoot quartering away 60 as if, oh, I missed on my 40 shot, but I stopped him and he gave me another opportunity. And then I'll nail that frontal shot at 20 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards, because I want to get a visual of different hunting scenarios in my backyard that I've experienced in years past before I go into the upcoming season. And both of those, right, I shoot that broadside target all year long, but the two elk I shot this year, the first bull was at 8 yards frontal, and at full draw, I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, find the color change, and it just releases, and it sounded like a shot a 22 bullet into a pond. It just went boom, hit that frontal shot. The bull went 15 yards and expired in less than a minute. It was phenomenal. Downpour, Dad called him right into me. Like, it was perfect. Gave each other like one of the biggest hugs I think we've ever given each other. It was freaking awesome. And we're talking real Washington rain, like downpour. Hadn't seen an elk or heard an elk in 4 days. It was the first elk we saw on the evening of our 5th day. So, tough hunting. And then a couple weeks later, I go to Montana. It's October 13th. These bulls are already bachelored where I'm hunting. And it was a 2.5 mile spot and stock, cut them up off a fingered timbered coulee. And the bull gave me a 60-yard quartering away shot. And so, those are both in the 3D spaces. It's pretty hard to replicate that bone structure and anatomy, where with our 2D targets, we can do it very effectively. And I think that's why I saw 2 really good harvests this year, because I practiced those angles a bazillion times coming up to hunting season. And then after elk season, take them down and I put my mule deer up, or I'll put my whitetail up, or, pronghorn up beforehand, so I can understand those different anatomies at different yardages in my backdoor range. So I think it's just given me a lot better visualization of what I could be experiencing in the field. I can sit and hold at full draw for a minute, 2 minutes, do 20 push-ups, then pull back and let go, and there goes my arrow way out of the vital area. So it's like, replicating a heart rate or a scenario come the season in my backyard with this full-size target has helped me become a better hunter. So
yeah, for sure. And just, I hadn't thought about this either, but you were talking about doing all the different angles and stuff. So when you're if you have let's say a 3D, for instance, right, that animal target is fixed. It's broadside is how it's built. It doesn't change as the animal changes. I know a lot of guys, myself included, I'll go do a different angled shot, or, whatever the case is, or practice out of my tree stand at a downhill angle. The problem with the realism of that situation is that that animal's anatomy is not doing anything different in a 3D scenario than would like to replicate what an actual animal would be doing in that scenario, with the way their shoulders are positioned, or their however their body twists and turns and those types of things, where your guys' targets in those quartering away scenarios, that's a real life representation with a real life kill zone. And now, like you said, with the Vital X, your guys' exclusive Vital X quiver technology there, it's going to totally change how you actually get educated on those different angles. Even if you are shooting, like I said, 3D, you're shooting at a stationary thing that doesn't adjust with the shot. So that's huge.
And then I'd say on top of that, just a little more description, like Dad talked about, his favorite aspects of the targets. They pack down, they're easy to put away in the wintertime, throw in the back of your truck on your way to camp. But I love it because we've kind of created this hinged hanging tab. So the tab that hooks onto your block or your bail or your bag with just target pins, it's hinged, and so you'll be at full draw, and sometimes you'll be shooting with a small breeze or a light wind, and you'll see that target flutter in the wind. And we did that on purpose so that while you're at full draw looking through your peep, you see movement downrange. Every time I've hunted elk or deer, they're never just sitting there stagnant. They're shaking, or you see a hair move, or their antler moves or head moves. And so we did that to try and replicate movement at full draw from different yardages. And so that is really funky when you're looking downrange and you see movement on a target in July and you're like, whoa, it's like we're in September and I got a bull 6 yards in front of me right now. So that's
another great point I hadn't thought about either. But yeah, you're right. You do see the little things twitching, or the antlers might wiggle a little bit, which moves the head. But I guess I hadn't thought about that either. But yeah, every animal you're out there shooting, it will have movement. But all those little things, if you haven't seen it 100 times through a peep sight at full draw, like those little things can throw you off as a shooter, right? Like he might flick his head or flick his tail, and that draws your attention away for just a millisecond, but that can adjust your shot at the end of the day. And then, another thing I wrote down here in my notes is for the depth perception thing, Corey, you had mentioned the life size factor being an average of depth perception. In the archery world, they've got the, what's that company called? It's like a V sight, but it's all based off of the depth perception of an actual animal to be able to like basically range through your sight without having, electronics or whatever, right? Easy V, I think, is the company, but their whole premise is based off of that exact concept. Your average deer is X, your average elk is this, your average whatever, and it's all based off depth perception. But then you talk, your guys' targets are great for rifle shooters as well, and that's the exact same thing. If you're measuring in mils or MOA, if you are a long range hunter, a lot of times you've got these numbers in your head of, okay, that mule deer, during a range scenario where you don't have time to get all the things perfect and check everything, you can use your reticle to measure an animal and then understand a good idea of how far that animal is. But it's all based off that back to brisket measurement. So that's awesome that you guys provide that in a real life scenario too, because again, it all goes back to that repetition of a realistic shooting opportunity. And in a case of Easy V, it actually works perfect for their products.
If you want to be better, and I think that's a lot of what we're doing, is we need to be better as an industry. We need to be better as a hunting group. We need to take more ethical shots. And if you haven't practiced the shot, you sure as hell shouldn't take that shot, right? So, and that's part of that shooting at dots thing. They don't have dots on them when they show up. So making sure that you're ready. But for many people, I'm sure many people follow Elk Shape or Dan Staten, and he added another level of difficulty that I had never thought of, and it's crazy. And I would say as many levels of difficulty that you can add to your practice sessions in your backyard or just shooting, whether it be shooting between trees like you mentioned, or shooting through a pickup window like Cole does, or whatever crazy thing he's got going on that day with his buddies, is physically adding some difficulty to it. So just put your pack on and go walk around your driveway or walk around your yard or run or get your heart rate up, do some squats with a pack on and get some blood pumping in your legs, because that's real stuff. Rarely, at least getting your heart rate up. When they come in screaming at you, your heart rate goes through the roof. You can hear your heart beating in your ears. So also, if you're at least in the West, it's pretty steep country, and a lot of the times you're making a play on a bull, especially if you're a guy that's a spot and stock guy. You're probably cutting or crawling or whatever, shoot from your knees, shoot from your butt, but create difficulty in your shots. So again, you've made that shot. You're confident in that shot. When you go to full draw, you breathe calmly. When on Cole's Washington bull last year, I was very, very proud of him. I couldn't see the bull. We'd already seen the bull, but I went down into a dip and he's at full draw for a while. I didn't realize that all Cole could see was the antlers, because it was circling him, trying to get to me, and we pulled him through. But I'm calling and calling and calling and calling, and he's at full draw for a long time and moving, right? So another scenario is hold your draw for 60 seconds, and then move and acquire and shoot. Just any scenario that you can create to make yourself better, that's a life-like opportunity, you're going to have those in the field. Go practice that. Don't get lazy and step out your door. Hey, I went and shot my bow tonight and I shot really good at 30 yards. I shot 6 right in the bullseye. Well, who gives a damn? Always be shooting animals and increase your level of difficulty on that shot. Now, if you're a tree stand guy, a lot of the shots are probably going to look the same, but there's levels of difficulty through trees. And if you're not practicing from that tree, you should, because a lot of guys hit high or shoot over the top because they're not bending at their axis or whatever. So I think as an industry goes, and we all watch the shows, I'm addicted to YouTube like crazy. I'm watching everybody and how they do and what they do, and I'm learning from them. I'm learning what to do from them. There's definitely a lot of opportunities to learn what not to do from them. And so again, take the time to be better and shoot animals every day if you can. Figure out a way, whether it be hours or a banner or something, shoot animals every day. If that's your game, if you're a hunter, be a hunter. Shoot animals. Unless you're tuning in your bow or sighting in your bow, obviously you're going to shoot across. But once you're dialed, go shoot the animals and get yourself ready for the season.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. As far as getting back to your guys' business here. So you said DEADNUTS started as an idea during COVID. How long would you guys say you've been officially selling to customers where you weren't having to shut off the website to sell them?
This would be our 3rd year. Yes,
Year
our 3rd
3
year of I would say, yeah, it was in April of 2023 that we decided to turn on social media and see what it is. And there were moments of regret for sure, but we never turned it off. This time we got to learn if we're something or not. Are we cool or not? Are we really something? And so last year we grew pretty significantly, and this year we've grown exponentially. We're now with dealers. We're open to dealer inquiries, which we had stayed direct to consumer until this year. We attended the ATAs in Indiana and signed some great customers. So we are. We'll be putting our dealer network out on our website here in the next couple of weeks so that you can figure out if there's one in your state. And if there's not, or if you're your local dealer and you think our stuff is cool, maybe mention it to him, because we can hook this guy up, Aaron Stonehawker, and he can help him potentially become a dealer. And we're excited about that growth. There's a real blend to this business between direct to consumer and wholesale for us. And we want to be in more places and be more serviceable. So this year, we've already seen significant organic growth just through online sales, and the shows have the 3 shows that we've attended have been incredible. We're becoming recognizable as a brand, but that's mostly Cole and his buddies and all the social media stuff that they do, because this isn't the moneymaker, right? So that he's our moneymaker. And the comments, by the way, oh my gosh, some of them are hilarious that we get. Fantastic. And some of them are keyboard tough guys, right? That just everybody's got an opinion. If you're going to put yourself out there, be prepared for the opinions. And so anyway, I think this year, this is our 3rd year doing shows as well. And people recognize the brand now. So it's pretty exciting to see it, or, hey, we've seen that on social, or my buddy has one of those. Or when you go into a dealer and they say, oh yeah, I've got one of those at home. I don't know why I'm not selling them in my store. Those are great comments for us, and we're excited about the growth. So it's going to be a great year.
I mean, yeah, that's amazing. And regarding getting into this industry, I know, Cole, he's mentioned it just being the industry that he loved, and all of a sudden having an opportunity to work in it, and, talking with you guys kind of have that same reaction to the outdoor space. So so far, getting out to shows, interacting with dealers, interacting with customers, what's been your favorite part so far about the industry?
I would say, honestly, well, one, when you get to just hang out with outdoorsmen, hunters, men and women, and you get to hear their stories, because I'm infatuated with the West. This is what I've been hunting my entire life. But when I get to hear stories from, a guy from Pennsylvania who's never had an elk tag and he bought a target, he came over to Montana, or he came to Utah, drew a tag, and he shot a 380 bull for his first bull, and then he goes, this target helped me so much. Like hearing stories like that is just so cool. And we've got 1,000 success stories in our emails and DMs on Instagram of, thank you so much for the product. It's helped a ton. So just getting the opportunity to, I guess, know not only our customer base, but just other outdoorsmen and women, and hear their stories and kind of what gets them up in the morning. you know, there's a whole crowd out there that until late, I didn't know people were that infatuated with turkeys. So when I get to go to some of these shows and hear people infatuated with turkeys, and like now my heart's racing. I'm like, turkeys? Yeah, like come on, I'm infatuated with turkeys now. And so like just I guess just being around, you know, other people in the industry, whether they're big hunting influencers or just your average guy that goes out for a couple of weeks, they all have incredible stories. And I think that we're just the same. We just wake up in the morning, we love hunting season, and we shoot our bows, and we all went out wearing red flannel jackets starting too. So, you know, it's I just love to hear success stories because of our product, but also just talk hunting with people. And then also I think other guys that are like either businessmen or women in the industry or like industry influencers, hearing them talk because they're obviously in it every single day has been really nice, not just from the business side, but from the educational side of understanding elk herds or mule deer herds, or why whitetails do this and that in the rut, or pre, during, and post rut. And like now that we're kind of in it, I've learned so much more just in the last 2 years that I feel like I'm a lot better hunter because of it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, and the industry's full of great people, but it's always neat when you get that aha moment, getting to interact with your customers in person, shake their hand, and just see, like Corey said it earlier, like I guess we do have something cool going on here, you know, and like just getting to understand like that grassroots level, like that's where my passion sits, is in that grassroots level of the industry, and where the rubber meets the road in terms of like companies, you know, meeting their consumers, or companies meeting the, you know, organizations that they support and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely an exciting feeling. And I've been sitting back kind of with a grin on my face every time you guys come back from a show and talk about the awesome stories you had, the sales you made, and then getting to meet your customers. Like that's the exciting part of it for sure. And there's definitely a fun curve to that, especially as a newer company on the scene.
You mentioned, like we're in the beginning of the pod, about, you know, or Cole mentioned I'm old school and he's new school. And I think the biggest thing for us is we don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, not ever. And so I really want to see sustainable growth. No, anything that goes up fast is going to come down just as fast. And I don't want that for our customers either, because we're currently, you know, in a space where we're starting to get a consumer group that is counting on us to be around. And so they need to buy their replaceable vital zones. They need to add to their backyard. They could maybe only buy one today, but maybe they got in 2 months from now, they're going to add to it, right? Or continue to add to their backyard. And so I want to make sure that we're around for that. And the spiky growth stuff, and this is why Cole's mind is so great. He's got all kinds of ideas on what's next, what animal's next. Let's engineer this. Let's engineer that. Our next project right now is developing our backstop, so that we can sell a complete package to our customers, where they can buy the targets and a backstop through us. And so that's coming really soon. But again, don't overpromise and underdeliver, and stay sustainable in our growth, and we can be in this industry for a long time. And so there's always a really smart businessman once told me, never go into a business that you're passionate about, because you'll make bad choices. And so you have to make sure that every decision you're making is not coming from your heart. You're actually using your head, and don't BS your calculator. Because if you have passion for it, you have a tendency to BS your calculator on whether or not it'll work or not. And I got news for you. If you BS your calculator, it BSs you right back. And I'm a pretty good sales guy, and I know you are, and I know Cole is, and I'm pretty sure we can talk ourselves into doing anything. So just be straight with what the growth plan is. You know, have all the plans, write them all down, prioritize them, and then start checking your boxes. Go get them, because I think the sky's the limit right now with Dead Nuts and what we can do to help the industry be better. And we're starting to gather some really good partners like yourself. We're proud to partner with Prayin and Slayin and everything that you do with conservation groups and with veterans. And it's amazing. We're with the Raised hunting guys and the Holder family are amazing, and they're excited about the product and moving it, right. And so the Phelps guys too. It's just a great opportunity to collaborate with other great businesses. And as we learn together, I think we'll be very sustainable in our growth, and we're going to be around for a long time because of it. So it's exciting.
And on top of that, like Dad had mentioned Quiver earlier, and I
Great
think that's
guys.
such an incredible addition to our product, because like before we started the podcast, we talked about, you know, Dan Staten did some video on our targets, and he was explaining, you know, what I explained, trying to explain to everyone is here's your proper bone structure, and here comes up to your scap, and then you have your spinal vertebrae runs here and your back strap here, and then you hit an animal here, it's going to take X amount of time for it to expire, and it's going to go this far. And so we were always educating people based off of our really good quality print. However, now that we have partnered with Quiver and we have our Vital X series, it just takes it to a whole new level. I can shoot and there's no more guessing where my arrow entered or exited, what organ it's through. I just tap the chip on our targets, and you can see a wide array of all the different organs, plug and play. What organ did my arrow go through? Did I hit a bone? And like, kind of a funny story, this last weekend, we were at a show in Portland, Oregon, and we told a guy, hey, his buddy goes, hey, go point at the heart. And this guy's pointing right at the front shoulder, and we're able to see his hand through our phone. And he goes, I've practiced shooting there for 10 years. I would have never known. And his buddies are all laughing, but like, this is exactly what we're trying to do, is educate our consumer base, so our buddies in the outdoor space of, this is the proper anatomy. This is where you should be aiming based on the angle of the animal. And so they just take it to a whole new level. We have huge plans with them and releasing our Vital X series, because it's truly doing what we intended the use for our targets, which is explaining proper bone structure and vital anatomy on a wide array to the whole United States and Canada, all over the place.
Oh yeah, like the education piece, you guys being rooted in education, that just takes it to the next level. Like obviously being able to shoot something, but then you talked earlier about a guy from Pennsylvania drawing his first elk tag. Shooting a whitetail, they're all deer, but shooting a whitetail is different than shooting an elk, than shooting a mule deer, than shooting a moose or something bigger, right? So like, being able to actually understand on that particular animal how all that stuff lays out, and the size differences between the bones and different things like that. But then, one of the things I hear all the time is about bears and how much different their anatomy is than a deer. But if you look at a broadside bear, like we've all seen the targets of or whatever, try center punching it behind the shoulder or whatever. But if you shoot that in real life, it's a lot different scenario. So the aha moment for that guy with, pointing at where he thought the heart was, that he's been practicing his whole life, and then being able to see the real version, there's an aha moment factor there. So that Vital X technology definitely takes that education to the next level, because it's not just like someone telling you on a bear, for example, you need to aim center of center. Okay. But again, if that bear's broadside, if that bear's quartering away or whatever, but then if you have that thing, you can go up and tap it, you can stand at all the different angles and help yourself even understand, even on just a broadside one of your targets, like, okay, like I definitely have to aim here, and then you can start to visualize it a little better. So yeah, it's definitely a huge addition to that. And then, like, to Corey's point, man, that industry is just full of those collaboration opportunities of, meeting the right businesses. And it might not be, that's something you guys may have never came up with necessarily, but other people are thinking about it, right? So, hey, how do these fit in different products? How can we all make the industry and the products better, and, help people ultimately achieve the goal of being more successful in the field? So it's definitely cool seeing all that stuff tie together. What's up, guys? We're going to take a quick break from the episode with a huge announcement from our partners over at DEADNUTS Outdoors, and we couldn't think of a better podcast to announce this on. We officially have a way to save you guys some money on your DEADNUTS targets by going to www.deadnutsoutdoors.com/discounts/Prayin and Slayin to save 10%. That's right, 10% off your new DEADNUTS 2D target. These things are awesome, man. We just got all of ours packed up for this upcoming PCS, and we are taking our 3-pound entire backyard range to Texas, where we'll set it back up. These guys are the most realistic, most lifelike targets that are out there, and they work with any backstop that you may already have. So go check them out. Again, www.deadnutsoutdoors.com/discounts/Prayin and Slayin. That's PRAYIN, the and sign, SLAYIN, for 10% off your order, guys. And a portion of that also goes back to help veterans and conservation projects wherever we're stationed. So these guys are up in their partnership with Light the Fire Outdoors, saving you some money, giving an extra kickback to veterans and conservation projects, which we are so proud to be partnered with these guys. It's not even funny. So with that, let's get back to the episode. Again, www.deadnutsoutdoors.com/discounts/Prayin and Slayin. Awesome, man. Well, as far as, you guys are growing, so you're year 3, you guys are pushing out DEADNUTS targets almost every single day to customers or dealers now, which has been awesome to see. So your team's got to grow with that. how has your team grown in the last 3 years from Cole doing targets till midnight by himself in the shop or whatever the story was then, or till now? Do you guys have team members in the warehouse doing this stuff now, or is it still you guys?
We have team members now for sure. Yeah. So our original, the guy that's helped me from the beginning is a gentleman named Mike Lawson. He's an amazing brain, super smart guy. I take concepts, Cole takes concepts to him, and then we let him grind on them, right? And he brings us ideas, and we say, yep, that's great. Nope, that's great. But he's an amazing guy. We've added, for us, there's a lot of manual jobs in putting these targets together, right? It's not an automated system. I bet that it could be, but it's not. We're all made in the U.S. right here in Washington State currently. But so we have 3 guys that's what they do all day long. It's like little elves putting together our targets all ready for Christmas, right? Making sure they're getting packaged up and out the door on time, keeping our printers rolling as fast as we can, and all of our cutters rolling as fast as we can, and then assembly. So it's been pretty seasonal, which is another reason we are looking to go to the dealer networks a little more, because our season was typically between Memorial Day and August 30th. And then it basically shut off, but we were marketing mostly to the West, right? As we become more popular in the Midwest and East Coast, we started to see a little more of an extension as the deer season hadn't kicked off yet, right? So there's more deer being sold, but 60% plus of our sales are a broadside bull elk that we sell all over the country. And so there's a window right there that people are getting prepared to go on whatever hunt they drew or whatever tag. So this year, again, it's been a lot different. We have 3 guys we've been able to keep on besides ourselves full-time plus an admin, gentleman named Leroy, who's just awesome guy to deal with. And so, yeah, it's been good growth where Cole and I aren't in there assembling targets any longer, or cutting or doing anything. We're basically able to try and grow the business, and try to get our costs down, get our costs in line, buy more in bulk, and work with shippers, because shipping is the worst part of the business by far. It's such a monopoly and it's just impossible. So we've been working with those companies about, here's how many we're going to do. This is our growth plan and who wants our business type of a deal, so that we can lower the cost of that for our end users and our dealers as well. So this year also, because of the dealer network, we're not treating it as seasonal. We're assembling daily, every day, and getting things on the shelf ready for inventory to get ready for the busy season. Where in years past, we'll take the list of orders from the day before and we'll go, if we have them on the shelf, we'll fulfill them, or we make them. And it was mostly we would make them, and we'd be anywhere from 24 to 72 hours to ship. This year, hopefully, I mean, we're doing a real good job of getting our stockpile up for sure. It could be that you place your order that day, ship same day. So that's our goal. We are going to remain made in the USA. That's the biggest thing for us. We're not interested in going overseas. We want to stay right here, employ people right here, and build our products right here. And you will always get us if you need us. So email us, message us, call us. Like, we want to be available. If there's things that we can do better, if we can make improvements, if you have thoughts, we are all ears. And there's been a lot of that as well over the last couple of years of, let's just say, they don't hold up as well in a hurricane, first of all. And they're not going to stop your arrow by themselves. They need a backstop. So whenever we make an improvement to our target, for example, the broadside bull has a very large kill zone, and after about 100 shots, it would start to flex and pop out. And it would get frustrating. You got to walk down range and pop your kill zone back in. So what we've added these little sticky tabs. It's just enough adhesive you have to peel them, but it's enough adhesive to hold it in there now without popping out. And so we weren't having that problem with any of our other targets, but it just made sense that we might as well. We're doing it with this one. Let's do it to all of them. We had antlers, especially with the big bulls or the frontal bull, where they're large. It's a large amount of antler. And with heavy wind, then unfortunately they folded up. So that doesn't happen any longer. We had a guy out of Montana that was a great customer, was very understanding, and would work with us. And we'd send him, here, try these antlers. Hey, try these antlers and see how they're working. Put them in that same wind tunnel that you're in that little coulee that you're practicing in. And we finally came up with one that held up. We ended up creating the antlers in 2 pieces and then reinforcing them on the back. And so, and it works fantastic now. We don't have that issue any longer. So we took it, And then we implemented it on all of our targets so that we weren't having that problem with just a couple of them, but now we won't have that problem on any of them no matter what, because we were able to implement that to our entire process. So when I say we're open to constructive comments, like, we are very serious about that. We want this to be a cool thing. We want it to last for you. We understand that it's plastic and that people get a little worried about that. They are so durable. You can shoot them so many times. And it's basically, if your kill zone, if your eye starts to see a spot, then pop the kill zone out and put a new one in there. I mean, you get 2 packs for $20 are literally $10 replacements, right? It's inexpensive way to keep shooting lifelike in your backyard. And so pop it out, pop a new one in. The kill zone is going to continue to take a significant number of shots. It doesn't matter. It's just about your eye.
I had a guy hit us on Instagram the other day, and he goes, "Hey, all the improvements you're doing with the targets are great, yada yada. I'm still shooting my first set of kill zones." I was like, "Right on, like, keep it up, keep shooting. Thanks for the feedback and the comment. Hope everything's great." Then I looked up his order. He ordered 2 years ago, and I like shoot every day. I'm like, "Oh smokes, they're still holding up after 2 years. Just the same 2 inserts." And so I don't know how many thousands of shots he's put into them, but like Dad said, it's just kind of based on your eye.
That, and you might not, some guys, and I'm guilty of that too. Like, my 20-yard target is the worst one, but then my mule deer, he's at 30, 37, and then that the bighorn sheep I have down deeper over that log, that one's like 57. But that 20-yard target, it's just such a repetitive shot. It's like bam, 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 bam. Like you put a $50 hole in it, and now you're just shooting at this hole all the time, right? You're not even shooting the rest of the kill zone. But you kind of take away. I hadn't really thought much about that now, but then all of a sudden you're almost tunneling yourself back down to just shooting at that dot again, right? Because now I'm not looking at the deer and trying to analyze. Okay, I want to punch him there. I'm like, I want to punch that dot. I want to hit that black spot, and hear that soft thud instead of the crack in the thud, So yeah, I would encourage people who are shooting those kill zones will stay in there forever. And especially after you punch a nice little hole in them, you're going to be missing it. So you won't have to worry about it falling out or crumbling on you. But maybe speaking to myself mainly here, maybe replace it so you actually get back to the nuts and bolts of why you had a dead nuts target in the first place. So yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, as far, you mentioned shipping, and maybe you answered this question already, but what's your guys' experience? You're 3 years in. What's been your biggest challenge so far in getting into the outdoors industry, from turning something into a hobby into a business?
Well, the biggest challenge is shipping. I mean, without a doubt, as far as the business side of it goes. We want to continue to try and get our products, our plastics and our inks and everything at a better price, right? And it's going to be volume based, and over time, maybe we'll do a better job. But shipping is the one, because it challenges our customers. So the number one state that we ship to is Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania buys more elk than anybody by a long shot. By the way, West guys, how is that possible? So, but it's from the tip of the earth in Washington to the tip of the earth on the East Coast, and so it's a real challenge. And so we flat rate our shipping for our customers, knowing that we're losing money on probably 90% of the sale. We build it in. So, and so UPS is not the easiest to work with anymore. The Postal Service is a government-run crap show. And so it's a 50-50 if we go Postal Service to get your product. It's been really difficult. So we tend to go UPS all the way, or FedEx, to try and get you your product, so in as timely a fashion as we possibly can. So getting those dollars down, if we get our dollars down, I can pass that savings on, but it's proving to be pretty darn difficult with these big shipping companies, because again, it's more of a monopoly. They have you. So what else are you going to do, type of a deal. So again, another reason why we're getting into the dealer network, so that we can you can go into your local dealers and pick up the product right there without having to incur additional costs from online sales.
The dealers even appreciate you guys'. We built in a dealer cost share into the shipping network as well. And I've heard multiple times now, after explaining that to a few dealers, the shipping rate and stuff per target, they all appreciate that. Because a lot of companies, they're like, "Oh, you're buying our target, you eat it," or "You're buying our product, you eat the shipping." But you guys being willing to upfront just say, "Hey, we know that's our biggest struggle, so how do we help you meet in the middle?" That's been awesome, and it's been well received, and people really appreciate that. So I haven't had a negative being, on the sales front. You're always trying to look out for obstacles that you might run into talking to people, and for me, that was one I expected to get a lot more pushback on, and it really hasn't been. They really appreciate what you guys are doing there. Not a lot of companies do that, so definitely making a statement for yourselves in the industry there too, which is awesome. Well, you touched on it already too, the backstop conversation. So any new products across the board coming out that customers can look for or potentially be teased about that you can talk about, and then let's talk about the backstop too, because I know I'm excited about the backstop opportunity myself.
Well, it's shoot. Every time I walk in the shop, Cole and the guys have something new to show me. It's, hey, look at this one. Our grizzly bear's out now with Vital X technology in it. We just came out with a mountain goat that's so cool. If you're into shooting those, that's going to be a really cool target. The turkeys are just now coming out with Vital X. We will have those available in the next week or two, available to ship to everybody. So that's a really cool new technology for shooting turkeys in our combo packs. And then the rest of it, I've learned to just look the other way because Cole's got plans he hasn't told me about yet. I'll just walk in and it'll be cut on the table at some point. Hey, look at this one we're doing now. So we get a lot of requests from people. We would love to get more requests from people. We get requests for African game. We get requests for moose and caribou. We get lots coyotes, boars, and we say yes. It'll be done on Wednesday. Just not going to tell you what Wednesday, but it'll be a Wednesday. We'll have it out. And so again, Cole's got great ideas, and so I'll leave the rest of that to him.
But yeah, I mean, I think like Dad had said, I'd love to get our moose and caribou line out. We get requests for them constantly. It's just about, they're such big animals. Creating something as anatomically correct under our capabilities with the raw goods is a little bit tougher. So it's taken us a while at the drawing board to make sure we get it right for the customer base the first time. I'd love to get a blacktail out just because I'm from the west side, and everyone in Oregon, Northern California, Washington, Alaska wants that. On top of that, we've had people ask for like Sitka and the axis deer. What else has been a popular request? I'd say those are probably the ones that we don't have out currently. I've actually had a guy ask for a Doll sheep. But yeah, so I think that's kind of on the target side. But behind the scenes on that, we're going to probably go into our backstop here shortly, but we're creating a stand that we're working on developing for both rifle and rifle shooters and archery shooters, to where it'll be dually capable with whether you want to hang your block or your bag from it or a gong on it. And so you can take it out wherever you're shooting. It'll kind of work like a trekking pole almost, where it can expand. So that one's kind of in the works. We're just kind of briefly starting that, but that'll be nice because then we could literally use the entire package, create a stand for the archery targets or rifle targets, create the actual backstop for our guys, and then obviously the dead nuts targets on top of that. And then in my opinion, I really want to get our decoy line out. I use our targets as it is as decoys, and they work really well. But we have some pretty actually sophisticated prototypes on the decoy side that we plan to be releasing in the near future. Just got to get the good to go that we're able to do it. So
the good to go from Dad. That's right.
Yeah. Let us know because we'll get them going. But yeah, we got some pretty cool technology going into the decoys. It's going to be really cool.
Awesome, man. No, I can't wait to see it. I'm stoked for the backstop opportunity, and especially the fact that it'll be a dual system where it doesn't matter what kind of hunter or shooter you are, you'll be able to toss your gong behind it if you want to hear that report from a rifle shot, or if you want to hear your stop your arrow, you got your backstop too, man. So that's gonna be super cool. I can't wait. Part of our partnership is my commitment to you guys to help you get into the conservation space, so you can build that conservation support program as a business, be involved in those fundraising things, and just help at the end of the day get these targets into more people's hands to educate more consumers on good shot placement and that kind of stuff. So definitely working hard there. We've got the Whitetails Unlimited right now. We're in discussions with those guys. NWTF just picked up discussions with them yesterday. Minnesota Deer Hunters Association. And you talked about Pennsylvania. You guys might also be surprised to know, like, Pennsylvania is one of those like new fringe states that's got the reestablished elk populations in it. And Pennsylvania happens to have like the most, by a large shot or a long shot, the most hunting license sales in the United States too. So it doesn't necessarily surprise me that you see a lot of elk there, but there's a lot of guys I think that are all putting in now for the first time in a long time, putting in for elk tags every year, hoping they get one of those handful that gets drawn. And they've got some cool local organizations. Kika is one, Keystone Elk Country Alliance. We'll be working to get you guys in with those guys as well. Great organization, but they're all about like just elk in Pennsylvania. They got a good handful of chapters there, and then everything that they're about is keeping that elk herd strong, keeping it growing, and maybe even have an opportunity to get you guys out there. They do some really cool like elk tours during the elk rut, where they wagon ride you around the fields while the elk are doing their thing and stuff like that too. So there's a big following around elk hunting in general, and just that culture out there in Pennsylvania. But yeah, man, as far as conservation goes, that was the thing that got me the most excited. Is again when I opened that first DeadNuts target, threw it out there, shot a couple arrows, and I'm just like, this thing belongs in every conservation organization that's available to us at the end of the day. It's just such a cool thing. You guys, your ability to cater to every single, animal market. All conservation organizations kind of work together for the same collective mission of making sure we have species to hunt and established hunting seasons and things like that, protecting those in states that, the government doesn't do a great job of protecting necessarily. So you got to have a voice for it, but then they also, all enhance habitat and all the things. So the fact that you guys you have a product that truly can just mold to the audience in each of those places gets me really excited. And every organization I've talked to so far, they're pumped about it. So yeah, more to come on that. But yeah, fast conversations with NWTF. You guys were a little foreign to the turkey hunting concept. I'm like, you guys have no idea what you don't know. That is like the biggest hunting following in the United States is turkeys. And hopefully there's some new product development ideas there. We pitched around early, but maybe some cool things, and maybe just maybe NWTF will be the first one to see them. We'll see as far as some of those custom options, but you guys definitely need a replaceable turkey head. I know that. So.
We're working on it. Like Dad said, Mike, we got him on it. So yeah, I can't wait. And the funny thing is the NWTF was the same week as the Western Hunt Expo in Salt Lake City. So we're there, with the Mule Deer Foundation. And I'm looking at my phone, and I talked to some people that were at NWTF. They said it was insane. And I was like, there's that many people who just go nuts over turkey hunting. I was like, this is awesome. It's like its own little culture over there. So definitely next year, I'm going to see if maybe we can't get over there to the NWTF and, showcase some new product launches to them. So.
Yeah, man, I'll be working my butt off on it from the conservation front for you guys, because part of that, the partnership with those guys, you guys just have a super cool thing that I know their audience would eat up. And so helping them fundraise should be a pretty cool thing to see the dollars go towards what they do through your products. But then also part of that is, supporting them on a partnership front too. And part of that usually comes with an opportunity to be at that show if there's space. It is kind of one of those shows in that side of the country that, vendors have a hard time getting into. So, but I think you guys have a good mix and a good opportunity and all the good stuff to be there. So yeah, we'll definitely work on getting a booth there, and maybe have some cool products dropped in too if we can get that figured out. So that'd be super cool. But it's a nutty fan base, man. Like turkey hunters are just they're their own breed, and you'd probably be surprised too how many guys just turkey hunt. Aside from the other things, it's the next best thing to elk hunting. I think a lot of people think, and a lot of guys like the elk concept because it's like hunting a big turkey. It actually talks to you. You don't have to sit around wondering when it's coming in. If they're there, they're going to be talking. And turkeys are kind of the same way.
Well, we've done. Cole mentioned he wants to get going in the decoy line, and we're not huge turkey hunters, but any chance that you get a chance to go hunting, we go. And so we turkey hunt. We're just not very good at it, as it turns out. But we did create some decoys, and we have some decoys, and they work fantastic. They're 2D, right? So usually when that Tom is coming in, he's going to come around. He's going to come around. Well, at the time he comes around the back of that hen, it's too late, right? He's in range. So we've developed some. We haven't marketed them very heavy. We just kind of use them for ourselves. But with Cole pushing me along a little bit, I imagine those will be out here pretty soon, and probably you get sent off to you since you have way more experience at it than we do. Of yep, that's cool or that's not cool, because they do work very, very well, and they're much easier to pack around. So and our targets, my goodness, I mean, you could basically use our target as a decoy as well. They're very high definition. So anyway,
For sure, man. And that's, with the turkey side of things, if you look at the turkey decoy industry at all, like you have your Walmart foam specials, which I'm personally a big fan of because they're cheap. You don't care if they get beat up, and you fold them up into your backpack and they're lightweight, but the opposite end of that spectrum is a 2 or 3 or maybe more now, $100 version that's designed to be as realistic as you can possibly get. But you go back to your guys' full-size big game animals, and I have deer that will come up in my yard and they're checking that target. I mean, they think it's a live animal standing there. And then, you get some of the trail cameras going off in the backyard taking pictures of the animals with those. The realism is insane. It doesn't glare or anything. So that high def resolution image, even on a trail camera photo, you would think it's an antelope standing right there with a whitetail in my backyard here in Maryland. It doesn't get more real. So the idea that you could have a foldable, or non-foldable even, but a lightweight, just paper thin decoy you could stick out there that's as high resolution and life size as you can possibly get, without, building in the body and everything else like some of these other companies do. That's a huge advantage for somebody that maybe doesn't have those $300 or $400 to spend on the real deal or whatever, and they can go 2D instead and get just as much benefit. So it doesn't surprise me that you guys have seen success with those, because the turkey's number one resource is his eyes, and they have better eyes than most animals that we hunt. So they're picking out details that you might not think matter, but in some cases they do. So that's awesome.
Yeah, my brothers and I think we've probably killed about 10 turkeys over our decoys, and they've come right in, and like we've had to set like a couple of them up because they're always trying to get around, and then it's a silhouette, and so it's like, where to go. But by then, like Dad had said, it's bang, they're done. And so they've actually worked really well. It's just developing a couple of cool factors that we think will be original to us that we have pretty much completely developed, just trying to figure out streamline of the operation, and putting them together and then being able to get it out there. But
I get a thumbs up from the big C Daniels, and
yeah,
we'll do our best to make it happen.
Yeah, again, don't overpromise, underdeliver, and
Yeah.
you can go in so many directions that maybe you're not. Let's get really, really good at being really, really good, and then move on from that. And again, but the decoy line is high on the priority list for sure. Cole and his mother are pushing on that pretty hard. So
I'll tell you,
I bet I get convinced. Huh?
Yeah.
The antelope targets work great. This last year, we actually shot a video, and we just went and took out one of our targets that we'd shot the heck out of, holes all over, and just walked right at antelope, and they just right to us. It was really cool. There's this one, this antelope doe came walking right in and like got within 38 yards, I believe, of me, and I'm just tucked behind our target. And it's just like, what is that? And by then, it was, bang, if we had someone with a bow and it was a buck, but it was a pretty cool video that we put out. But they're just so realistic that they just come right in, and then you can kind of like move them, you use them as a decoy. So you have off-road movement, which is what I have found to be very successful when like decoying animals is the movement.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. It's amazing. And like you guys said, that the possibilities are pretty much endless of what you guys have, and the sky's the limit. But I love that you're committed to staying on your core mission, to get excellent at what you're doing, so you can continue to be excellent at the next thing and excellent at the next thing. Because, one of the things that you watch, you're in this industry a while, you start seeing, companies take off, and any company that usually has an exponential growth, they typically have a pretty solid stall period right after that, because either they overdevelop too fast and don't build out a timeline to ease customers into new developments, and they go straight for the moon and don't have anything left, or they just can't keep up with their growth. And next thing you know, the service to the customer sacrifices in a big way, because they grew too fast. Now they can't actually produce on time or serve customers in a good way, or don't have good customer service. So that all goes hand in hand, being able to manage that growth curve. But I think it comes down to that commitment to being excellent and in your core area, educating customers with ultra realistic targets, for shooters. And then, being able to expand those lines as you guys grow is going to be awesome, and definitely excited to see it. And also, part of your expansion that I'm a lot excited about is your guys' new team program. You guys launched your field ops team, which, for those of you who don't know, it's a grassroots marketing team. And these guys and gals are just people who love being a part of the outdoors industry. They're typically passionate customers of yours that just want to take that experience to the next level. So we've kicked that off as well. We're doing our part to get roughly 100 members this year, and we've got I think, well, we just brought on 3 today actually, so I think we're up to 16 or 17 now. But they're going to be a huge part of your guys' growth as well. And just, again, that being able to have a grassroots presence on top of that online presence, I think, is a huge win for people. And especially as our culture is getting like in this weird space of, where social media was everything. And now I think you're starting to really see some pullback on that. And people just want to have a real interaction with somebody too. That's going to allow that boots on the ground initiative to impact and reach people that maybe these other things won't in a bigger way moving forward and stuff too. So these guys and gals can be out there helping to serve dealers, sign up new dealers. They got a local bow shop. I think one of the new guys we just brought on out of New Mexico is a pro shop shooter for one of the big accounts down there. And then obviously in that conservation space too, definitely newer to the world as of probably like 4 years ago, but having in-person presence at some of these events that everybody knows about or goes to, like your Rocky Mountain elk banquets, your whitetails banquets. Being able to interact with customers there is also awesome. It's fun for the team guys, but it's fun for the people who are there engaging too, instead of just having a product that sits there. They may not know what it is. Having somebody there to shake their hand, say, hey man, come check this out. Oh, by the way, download this app really quick. Go scan this target. Get them to interact. It's going to help, number one, it helps people actually put their money towards things that are going to raise more money for those organizations. But it just ensures that, it allows you guys as a brand to have that same handshake experience from a trade show. If they came up and met Corey or Cole, they get to have an extension of that other places. So that program's starting to take off too. And we're just getting, the dealer network is starting to pop off. We've got a lot of guys working on signing local shops up. So things are going to get exciting for those guys too. Definitely excited about that team program. And with that, if they're lucky enough or unlucky enough, depending on how you look at it, they may end up actually getting to go on some hunting or fishing trips or something with you guys.
Yeah, we're really stoked. I'm personally really stoked about our team program. I think just having such high quality individuals represent our brand is incredible. And for them, really being the footprint and boots on the ground to all their local markets, I would say educating not just their retail stores or their bow shops that they go to, but all the people that they interact with on the way is awesome. And, just by having a really great team, we can touch more people, serve our mission to, I guess, the masses more than I can do off of a social media post, And so that handshake interaction with our customer base, because we have such a great team, is going to be awesome. It's already been awesome from the start. And like Aaron said, the more involved you guys are, if you guys are interested in joining our team, we're creating opportunities for you guys to, choose out, fishing trips, hunting trips, and a couple of other different programs that we're bouncing off of each other. But you can cash in your points with, we got a whole point system. You can cash them in for product discounts, not only in our store, but other industry partners. So it's a pretty great program.
Yeah, man, building that collective community about something they're already passionate about. And, every one of them, I think they use your targets and they love them. And it's just, again, taking that experience to the next level and saying, hey, like, how can I help this growing US, 100% made in the USA company, help them reach that next level and be a part of that growing forward. And then, another thing too, that I love about it for guys, and I'm seeing it in a lot of the applications, we ask people, hey, what's your number one goal in joining the DEADNUTS program? And, I think roughly 50% or better now all say that they hope it leads to future opportunities with DEADNUTS as you guys continue to grow too. So some of these guys might be your future marketing connoisseurs, or some of these awesome content creators you guys have brought on. Maybe that's your next sales guy. I know 2 of them already who want to be your next sales guys. So hopefully we'll groom them into that, but we'll make them prove themselves on the dealer side first with seeing how many dealers they can sign up. But I think they'd be killers for you. And yeah, you name it, man. It could be your guys' biggest and best recruiting tool, because they get a chance to build a relationship with you, understand the brand better than anybody, understand the customer base better than anybody, and then just take that advocacy and maybe turn it into a career in the industry. If they aren't already in, maybe they can be that will be their foot in the door to get in the industry too.
No, we love it. We're super excited to see where it goes. And like I said earlier, man, it's really exciting and beneficial that we got guys in the industry pushing our brand and our mission. And so we're super excited to continue working with them, guys and gals in the industry. So
Yeah, heck yeah, man. And all the partnerships that come with that too. I know some of the guys too are referring things like the Center Shot program that you guys would be a great fit for. Center Shot Blue, serving veterans and first responders in a bigger way through archery and that kind of thing too. So man, the community that's building around what you guys are doing already has been awesome. And the team program is a huge part of that. It's a giant network that is all revolved around the same shared passion, which is awesome. Well, so with that, the team and your grassroots movement, you're starting your dealer network, a lot's happening in year 3 here. What are your guys' goals by year 8, like your 5-year vision? Like, where do you hope to see this company?
In Cole's hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Write me a check here and there,
yeah.
I think
Well, I mean, honestly, I think our big 5-year plan, I guess, looking forward is one, to just continue like to develop a really good product and touch people with our targets, because that's initially our first product, and the reason behind it was teaching bone structure, internal anatomy. We want to see higher success rates in the field and less unrecovery rates of the game that you're pursuing in the field. And so we really, really want to push that. But I think just developing, I'll use the big word, the innovative products in this industry that's going to better people's success rates, better people's experiences, be something that is, I would say, easy to just take along, and it really betters your experience, while hunting is kind of what I want to do and develop. And so the more people that we can touch and help along the way, I think, we're doing a really good service to the industry, and that's where I see it. But I want to continue to drive and get into retail stores, let retail bow shops, mom and pops, have the opportunity to sell our products, so that we can be a part of their local mission as well. And then also I want to get some of my hunts filmed out of this. Like, I've been wanting to film some of my hunts for a while, and we've had some really awesome encounters and experiences. And so by doing this, I actually met some filmers this last weekend in Portland. I'd love to create more of a brand in the media side as well, which is a longer term vision and play, and try and become more of a staple in the industry. So
yeah, I think you nailed it, Cole. It's that innovative drive to continue to just be a little part of somebody's success. That when we do get those calls, and Cole mentioned it earlier as well, when we get those calls saying, "Hey, thanks so much. This is what I did this year, and I used your targets every day, and it helped me." If we're a little bit of a part of someone's success, that's amazing stuff. And so we want to continue to do that. I think the raised hunting crews, the same thing. Like, we can change this industry. We can make archery for the better. Archery is an amazing thing to get into. It's exploded, as we all know, especially over the last 10 years. And but there's some parts of it where people are just they're more wanting to get a shot than they are to take an ethical and a quick kill shot, right? So hopefully the animals expire quickly because you put your time in. That's our entire mission is educational. Let's change the industry. Let's be better as a group, and we hope to be a part of that for each and every hunter, whether it be new or old. I'd like to see us get into the archery shooting in the schools programs. I think that's a great foundational place to get this stuff going, is with our youth. And if they have an understanding from a very young age, they'll have great understanding by the time they actually get in the elk woods or the deer woods on how to make sure they're making a great shot. So we also want to branch out a little bit where you can use our targets as rifle targets as well. So I see us dipping into that market as well, heavy, creating these scenarios for especially the long range shooting schools. So maybe it's with the gong behind our stand. So I think, yeah, those are amazing opportunities for us to grow. We're very ultra focused on the archery side right now, but I think as this thing continues to evolve, we continue to grow the teams, the grassroots programs. We've got Stonehawker. That's a huge deal for us. And Cole's vision, and he'll push. I would love to be part of this industry for a long, long time personally, just because of the relationships it builds. When you have the opportunity, this is one thing I do love about our teams as well, as it will continue to evolve. But it's a better way of life when you hang around people of like mind. and you have like-minded conversations. The world's always at turmoil, it seems, and it's just not fun. You're not having those great conversations. Being able to build a business in an industry that you're passionate about and be around people that have that exact same passion and have those conversations just makes for a good day. So we want to continue down that path as well as we introduce our media side that's coming real soon, and have those conversations with people.
And hey, guys, I do apologize. I got to run a little early today. I really appreciate it, Aaron. Thanks so much for all that you do. Thanks for what you're doing with Prayin and Slayin. We're so stoked to be a part of it. And I apologize. I got to run a little early. Got to go to my other job. But yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Love you. And thanks, everyone that's listening. Send us some, videos of you shooting the targets that you get them, or just share a hunt story. We love hearing about it. So,
Well, thanks for coming on when we had
thanks,
you.
guys.
You bet.
With our Vital X series it's a pretty important thing, and I think it will change this industry for the good. Quiver is developing. We're going to put a value system to the organs, so you'll be able to. It'll keep score on your phone. So the potential of your buddy shooting at his house and you shoot at your house, you'll be able to compete with each other on a daily basis or monthly basis by shooting arrows into organs. And so you'll download the chip, you'll scan your arrow, you'll shoot it. And the technology, it's coming fast. It could even be by year end. So that is a development that is it's going to change the industry. These lifelike shoots won't be about dots in spots that you shouldn't even shoot an animal. That's the only thing that bothers me about some of the archery shoots is they'll put a dot that in the void, it's above all the organs and below the backstrap. Like, I'm not shooting there. I do not want to practice that. So anyway, so the Vital X series will have the ability shortly to be scored. And that's going to be a lot of fun to be able to compete with your buddies or shoot. I don't know. I'm not much of a gamer, but I know my kids play against people all over the country when they do that, when they're playing their games. And so that's a large potential to just go out and compete and have a good time and add that different element to getting better. It should be a great thing.
Man. I think that's, talking, the veteran community and stuff and just us being a military family, a lot of my buddies that I've met over the years that I stay in touch with, we meet a ton of people, but you have the same thing, that like-minded core group, your kind of tribe you build over time is small, but every one of them I could see shooting your guys' target. So that would give you the opportunity to, spread out a little bit. If one's stationed in Alabama and I'm in wherever, Texas, Montana, you name it, we could always be out there having that opportunity to shoot the breeze and shoot bows together, even when they're not standing in your backyard. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. It'll be fantastic. So we'll see. To be continued on that, but it's coming soon.
Cool. No, good insights on that, and excited to see that launch, man. But you talked, the thing I like too about the conservation space, you brought it up as your 5-year, part of your 5-year thing is getting that national archery in schools program, but partnerships through like Center Shot, they're the ones that started that, and we're working hard with getting into those guys. And there's an education element to what you guys bring to the table. There's a lot of products make hunters better, but when it comes to education and whether it's an adult onset hunter or a kid, having these types of targets with the education mind behind them and all the detail you guys put into these, that's a big part of what we'll be pushing for your guys' conservation program too. It's one thing to help them fundraise. It's another thing to bring that next level element of education, because every one of these has an education component behind it too. But I really think that's a big goal behind what we've got going in your conservation world. So more to come on that as it develops. But
I think another place that we've seen some success so far is with hunter education programs, and they'll take our targets and use them as silhouettes. And when they do their assessments on their final day after testing or whatever, like state of Idaho, state of Oregon, state of Washington, New Mexico, Nevada I believe Nevada. Anyway, regardless, Idaho, for example, uses them for a shoot, no shoot scenarios. So they'll have a silhouette skyline. Is this a shoot or a no shoot scenario? And it'll be a mule deer buck, quartering away. And then they have, always knowing your backstop, like what's beyond your shot. And I think from that perspective as well, they're easy enough to pack around and light enough to pack around, where these state associations can go create so many different scenarios. The raised at full draw camps, I think they're in 6 states now. They're huge. And our targets will be, they're it's an amazing program. If you haven't seen it, you should absolutely look it up. And the Raised Hunting family, the Holder family, started that program, and now they're, it's expanded exponentially, and they are educating kids on the value of archery hunting and what to do. And we'll be using our targets as well as a teaching tool for the youth. So that's a near and dear spot for me. It's why I started it for my own kids. And well, it wasn't going to start. I was just making them for my own kids, right? So,
Right.
But I think those are great opportunities, and I think there's a lot of room for growth and expansion in that area for people to get better. So.
But let's tell people where they can find out more about Dead Nuts. Where can they find you guys? Social media, websites, all that good stuff. And of course, we'll link all this stuff in the show notes as well, so people can come find you.
Awesome. Thanks. So you can find our products at DEADNUTSOutdoors.com. And we're on Facebook as Dead Nuts Outdoors, and deadnuts.outdoors on Instagram. I'm sure we have a TikTok, but the kid that just bailed out probably knows the damn thing, and I don't, because that's not my game. But anyway, yeah, please come and check us out. Please message us if you have suggestions on things we can come up with. We're all ears. If you have improvements we can make, we're all ears. If you just want to talk hunting, talk shot placements, man, we're all ears. Like, we're excited about the industry. We're excited about the opportunities that Dead Nuts has created for others, and continuing to grow. And like Cole said, Aaron, you're an amazing guy. We appreciate all you're doing. We love being your first partner with Prayin and Slayin as well. It's an honor to be that, and what you've done for the veteran community and what you do for your communities. Anything that goes around you is dang amazing to watch. So congrats on everything that you're doing and your success, and we love you. Thank you.
You guys have been a huge blessing, on me as well. And it's one of those things that, I stepped away from my previous job. I was in it for 8.5, almost 9 years, and just one of those things, kind of didn't know what to do with my hands afterwards. And then it just hit me out of one day. It's like, I need to call Corey at Dead Nuts, because it helped me. What you guys had going on, and the fire that got lit under me when I first met you, first of all, and then saw your products and the whole thing. It was just like, if I'm going to start something with Light the Fire Outdoors in that space and can help businesses grow, I want you to be my first phone call. And yeah, it's about the most fun thing I can do with my clothes on. So it's awesome, fun helping you guys, man, and being a part of your guys' family and getting to know you guys. I want you guys to know it's been a huge blessing as well. And I couldn't think of anybody that I'd rather help serve first than you guys. So it's been amazing, man. And definitely looking forward to growing with you guys for years to come.
Well, it goes both ways, obviously. And when you called me, I couldn't figure out why you were calling me, and I had a bull coming. And I'm texting you. I was ignoring your call, like, dude, I have a bull coming. He's within 50, and he's coming right now. So I remember texting you, and you're like, oh, my bad, or whatever. It was really funny. So yeah, it was awesome.
In the field, doing what you love, man. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, we're getting after it. So thank you.
That's proof to anybody listening too. If you get a hold of Dead Nuts, they will get back to you. He literally texts someone back when he's calling bulls. So.
Yeah, probably wasn't the brightest thing I've done in a while. Should have left the damn phone in the side-by-side, but that's all right.
Heck yeah, man. Well, awesome, man. Well, thank you so much again. It's been awesome learning about you. And again, guys, we'll link to everything in the show notes, but you can find them over at anything, deadnutsoutdoors.com, and then all the social links we'll share as well. But thanks again, Corey. And yeah, we'll give Cole a pat on the back too for coming on today. So
awesome. Thanks, Aaron.
Awesome, brother. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
All right. You have a great weekend.
You too. Bye. Well, there you have it, guys. It was awesome having both Corey and Cole on from Dead Nuts Outdoors. Like we said in the podcast, they were our very first partner for the Light the Fire Outdoors business growth segment that we started. This entire thing has been a huge blessing. Number one, being able to step away from a corporate job and step into a space where, we can be self-employed and work for ourselves as a veteran-owned and operated business. But, the thing that really got me going in that direction is a quote from Pastor Mike Todd. Your agitation is often an indication of your assignment. And there's just certain things, and I think each and every one of us runs into it, where there's little things that happen that you just can't shake out of your heart, man. And I've always had a heart for the outdoors, number one. Being a service member and married now as a spouse of an active duty member, I've had a commitment to the military and serving those, who, have issues or whatever the case is as part of their service commitment, but just serving that community in general. And being able to step away and start Light the Fire Outdoors, the business growth segment, and partner with companies like Dead Nuts to help them grow their business, it really helps me serve that mission in my own heart of being able to give back to somebody else, thinking of them as bigger opportunity than myself. yourself and help them achieve their goals. And then through that, and all the funds we raise through the partnership program there, or anything that you guys do, buying Prayin and Slayin swag, Light the Fire Outdoors swag online, whatever the case is, be able to take that and give directly back to veterans and conservation, which is at the core mission of what Light the Fire Outdoors is. And of course, the Prayin and Slayin podcast, and future opportunities as well. We're working behind the scenes as well to kick off some new ventures, to expand Prayin and Slayin, expand Light the Fire Outdoors as well, man. So it's been a blessing. And meeting the Daniels family, man, I just truly couldn't think of a better group of people to work for and to serve through this mission, especially right out of the gate, man. That's just a power of God working, bringing people into your life at the right time, and then having them, there when the opportunity is right to take the next step with them. So to the Daniels family, thank you so much. Thank you, Dead Nuts Outdoors, for being our first partner and believing in what we do here at Light the Fire Outdoors and trusting us with growing your business, especially in that grassroots space. And for all you guys, please check out deadnutsoutdoors.com/discounts /Prayin and Slayin. You're going to get 10% off of your Dead Nuts target, and they're going to do an additional kickback to the veterans and conservation support projects that we do here, which is just an awesome opportunity, taking that partnership to the next level. So again, everything, www.deadnutsoutdoors.com /discounts /Prayin and Slayin. That's PRAYIN, the and sign SLAYIN, to check that out. With that, guys, I'm going to let you guys get back to it. Thank you so much for being a listener. You guys support us just as much as our partners do, and it's been an awesome thing to be a part of, and we look forward to continue to serve you guys and Dead Nuts into the future, and other companies hopefully down the road as well. So with that, guys, do something nice for somebody today. Go out and give your buddy a high five, and maybe shoot some bows with them, and keep praying and slaying.